welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Molly, and today I'm super excited to be talking about the food combination diet. So this diet has become widely popular, especially on this platform, and especially for people who are struggling with digestive issues. So I feel really passionate that knowledge is power, and you deserve the truth and the real information behind this diet so you can make your own educated decisions. In this video, I'm going to be discussing 5 myths regarding the food combination diet, what the food combination diet is, what it isn't, and the science that may or may not be supporting the food combination diet, as well as a few science-backed tips to help you support your digestion. First of all, I want to commend anyone who is working to eat healthier or incorporate more fruits and veggies in their diet. Nutrition can be a very confusing arena to navigate with so much influence from social media and diet culture. So that's why I'm here to give you the real information behind this diet and some tips that may help you. Before I dive in, it's important to note that this diet was not created by a dietitian. The food combination is being touted to the masses by nutritionists and non-dietitians, which is important for you to know. So a dietitian has to go through years of school, taking biochemistry, physiology, really understanding the science behind nutrition. Nothing against nutritionists, but anyone can call themselves a nutritionist. It doesn't require any sort of special education, and people who are giving nutrition advice that haven't had nutrition education, it can be really dangerous. Now let's take a look at the food combination diet and its rules. So there are 4 common rules of the food combination diet depending on which type of food combination diet you're following. The first rule is to have fruit on an empty stomach in the morning, especially melons. Number 2 is to eat starches alone, separate from protein. Starches mean a carbohydrate or a fruit, rice, veggie. Number 3 is to eat meat, eggs, fish, or dairy separate from grains or cooked non-starchy vegetables. The 4th rule is to eat raw nuts or seeds separate from starches or with veggies. And it's important to know that these recommendations have absolutely no science or research behind them, and they were not created by a food expert. In addition to having a lack of evidence behind them, there's also a complete disconnect with the biochemistry of digestion. Let's start with myth number 1. So the idea that fruit needs to be eaten alone on an empty stomach only in the morning. So fruit is a carbohydrate, and carbohydrates are digested quickly and absorbed quickly into the bloodstream. Science tells us that your blood sugar spikes more when you eat a fruit alone versus when you eat a fruit with a protein or a fat source. The fat source helps to buffer this spike in blood sugar and prevent you from having a blood sugar crash later. There's absolutely no physiological reason why it's healthier to eat fruit alone. In fact, if you're diabetic, you're advised to always have a fruit source with protein or fiber to help create a more even insulin response in the body. Of course, I'm not a doctor, and diabetes or insulin resistance should be carefully monitored by a doctor and a dietitian. And if you do have a normal blood sugar response, it's perfectly okay to eat fruit alone on its own, but it can help increase your satiety and keep you fuller longer if you combine your fruit with a protein or a healthy fat like a nut butter or a serving of nuts. In my research, I even saw some rules that said you should separate acidic fruits from sweet fruits, but what does that even really mean? I can't really picture eating a fruit salad and having to separate the acidic fruits from the sweet fruits. Now let's chat about myth number 2. The idea that you have to eat protein separate from your starches or your carbohydrates. When you eat, your stomach produces enzymes to help you digest. These enzymes help you digest all 3 macronutrients, so fat, protein, and carbohydrates. Your body is equipped to digest all of the macronutrients at one time. Your stomach does not discriminate which nutrient it wants to start digesting, whether it's in the morning or if you ate a mixed meal with it or not. A mixed meal combines carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. According to nutritional science, eating a mixed meal is the best way to incorporate all of the essential vitamins and minerals that you need, as well as helping you stay satiated throughout the day. It sounds very challenging to separate all of the macronutrients in your meals and snacks. Myth number 3 of the food combination diet is that improper food combination can create toxins, disease, and digestive distress. There is absolutely no science or research supporting this idea of the food combination diet. In fact, there's absolutely no evidence supporting any component of the food combination diet. So it's important to look at if this information is rooted in science or simply a way to gain traction on social media. And that's why I wanted to start making these videos, so that I could help you figure out what sources to believe and give you the tools to make your own educated decisions. Myth number 4, perhaps the biggest myth that is put out by the food combination diet, is that our digestion happens specifically or sequentially. Everything gets mixed together, and that's why this myth is completely not true. So once these contents of the stomach pass into the small intestine, the pancreas releases its enzymes and does not discriminate in order of which it digests. It begins digesting all 3 macronutrients all at once. It is true that some macronutrients take longer to digest, but this does not cause toxin or disease. Unless you have a medical condition, eating all 3 macronutrients, fat, protein, and carbohydrates in a meal is perfectly healthy. Let's talk about myth number 5, the idea that you have to eat raw veggies separate from your protein or your fat. The food combination diet ignores the fact that some nutrients are actually better absorbed with a fat source. The fat-soluble vitamins are by nature fat-soluble and better absorbed with a fat source, so vitamin K, A, D, and E. So if you're eating fruits or vegetables without a fat source, you're actually missing out on an opportunity to absorb a lot of the nutrients, as opposed to if you ate those fruits or vegetables with a healthy fat like olive oil or avocado, nuts, seeds. There's actually a study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition that demonstrated eating a salad with no fat source and a salad with a fat source like olive oil helps to increase nutrient absorption of the vitamins and minerals that are in those vegetables, as well as carotenoids, which are found to be protective against heart disease and cancer. Eating fruits or vegetables without fat does not defeat the purpose of eating fruits or vegetables, but it's actually really important to eat fat with your fruits and vegetables to help maximize the absorption of these really protective minerals and antioxidants. Myth number 6, the idea that protein needs to be separate from your veggies. Well, this is a really important point because actually certain food combinations of protein and veggies can help increase nutrient absorption. For example, vitamin C with iron helps to increase the absorption of iron in the food that you're eating. Eating your fish or meat or beans with some spinach or red pepper, anything that has a good source of vitamin C is going to help increase the absorption of iron in the body. This is a really important tip for women of menstruating age so that we can get the adequate amount of iron that we need for optimal health and proper functioning. Ironically, women of menstruating age is the primary target audience of this food combination diet. Now let's take a look at why this diet has become so widely popular. This diet encourages a lot of fruits and vegetables, which are mostly water and low in calories. We know that eating lots of fruits and vegetables is healthy, but the idea that you need to separate fat or protein from fruits and vegetables is completely untrue and not very helpful. The diet is also not very sustainable. Separating all of your macronutrients throughout the day is going to make it really difficult to get in adequate vitamin and minerals. Undereating or running on a calorie deficit is not healthy in the long term. A lot of people claim that they feel better on this diet, probably because of the fact that all the meals are so much smaller, so you have less food at one time for your body to digest. However, this diet has a lot of complicated food rules that can add stress to the body. Stress also impacts digestion negatively, and restricting yourself from certain foods at certain times of the day is not healthy in the long term. For many people, diet rules can be a very dangerous game to play. Over time, it can bring stress and unnecessary harm to the body, a lot more stressful than just focusing on eating balanced meals. The ironic thing is that digestive issues is why a lot of people start the combination diet, but actually limiting your calories and having stressful diet rules can also negatively impact your digestive function. When we don't have enough calories, we physically don't have enough energy to digest our food. And over time, it becomes really difficult to get in adequate nutrients with this diet. So if you aren't getting enough calories and energy for the day, you're more likely to experience more bloating and gas than you might have had initially. It's really important to think of diet as a percentage. So if you're eating healthy and foods that nourish you 80% of the time, the other 20% can be foods that you truly enjoy, like wine or chocolate that you can enjoy with your friends and family. Alright, so the bottom line is your stomach is equipped to digest multiple nutrients at one time. Your small intestine has enzymes to digest every macronutrient that you intake. Eating more fruits and vegetables is a great thing, but eating mixed meals with lean protein, healthy fats, and carbohydrates has been studied for years and been proven to be the healthiest way to get all of the nutrients and vitamins that you need for the day. Eating smaller meals may help you prevent bloating and gas because your stomach has less to digest at one time. However, if you're eating smaller meals, they need to be more frequent so that you don't run into a caloric deficit. Drinking fluid 20 minutes before or 20 minutes after your meals, not so much during your meals, will help keep your enzymes concentrated so that you can digest more efficiently. Another important tip is chewing slowly and mindfully so that your stomach and enzymes have less work to do on the food that you're intaking. It's really important to find a diet that is sustainable for you to live a healthy and also non-stressful life. When you have lots of food rules, it can be really challenging to get adequate intake for the day and have all of your meals meeting your vitamin and mineral recommendations. Being mindful about your food and enjoying your meals rather than worrying about food rules is definitely way less stressful and way more enjoyable. The combination of fat, protein, fiber, carbohydrates is the best way to get all of the nutrients your body needs so it can function, heal, and digest at its best. So that's my take on the food combination diet, as well as some tips that have really helped me improve my digestion. I hope that you learned something in this video that you can take forward with you. It's my greatest passion to share this nutrition information with you guys and help you make educated, science-based decisions. I have new videos every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to like and subscribe so you stay updated for new videos, as well as guided meditations, guided yoga classes coming soon. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions below, and we'll see you next time.